The bedroom has been alive recently, then I found out why. Part 1. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. My wife, 39, and I, 42, have been married for just under 9 years. We have 2 kids just under 8 years old and the youngest just under 5. We have been together for about 11 years and have dated and was engaged for around 2. We had our first child before our 1-year wedding anniversary. We are both well educated and professionals in our field. She has a PhD in mental health and I also have years of background many would see as helping to avoid some of the usual pitfalls. I've been in recovery for drugs and alcohol addiction for 22 years since I was 19 and I am sober now. I've had 2 big relapses during our marriage, each lasting 6 months or so till I got sober again. The first time I was sober in many years happened during our first year of marriage. And I got caught by her 2 weeks right before the birth of our oldest daughter. I got sober again and was for 5 years or so till about 2 or so years ago when I relapsed again for 6 months. During that time I'm getting high. She does not know I am but has suspicions obviously, and then will finally catch me literally with a belt around my arm. I put her through hell during those times and took years to build back the trust. I'm now sober again for just under 2 years, and during this last period I have been working very hard to put our marriage back to better than it was. She's been seeing a counselor for about 7 months every other week or so. I've been seeing my own for nearly 2 years, 1 or 2 times a week. And then we both see a third marriage counselor and have been doing that 2 to 3 a month for going on a year, and in years past have done solo and marriage counseling. Keep in mind she teaches this stuff for a living to people who become counselors. After my last relapse and while I was in treatment, 2 months, we moved our family 1,800 miles away back to the state she grew up in and close to her family so she'd have support. We sold the house, got new and better jobs, etc. Her family is awesome, and even with my huge transgressions they love me very much and we all get along wonderfully. We see each other several times often throughout the week. Her parents are still married after 42 years and have a few brothers. They've been very supportive all along. We don't really fight or argue outside of usual money, marriage type things. We live in an area in our nice comfortable house. We make a good living, although there could always be more, and her biggest fear is financial insecurity, and our kids go to private Catholic school where we attend Mass weekly as a family and are active in the school and parish community. I attend without fail the same 2 AA meetings every week. I have a sponsor, I sponsor guys and have service commitments. For those of you reading this, I've done server's 5th and 9th steps over the years and currently back on 9 and was preparing amends to her. I've done several already stemming from this last relapse. We've had a dead bedroom as I've come to learn over the last year, plus sleeping together once a month or maybe twice. Not all that bad compared to others, but I initiate and get promised sex nearly every day for a 2 to 3 weeks till finally on a Saturday it'll happen. When we do have sex it's routine but both really enjoy it. I make sure she always climaxes first and then me. We've explored some and a couple months ago took the Moj upgrade quiz and I was very surprised at some of her answers. After taking the quiz she was so turned on she wanted sex right then and we literally broke our bed. We've not really dived much into the list it produced though. I attribute it to a typical 10-year with 2-kid marriage business and exhaustion. I'm patient but wanting to get started. I don't currently do porn, masturbate though I have in the past like most men. It's been 6 months? So no issues there. Neither of us are a prude or have any serious hang-ups around sex. I think she's even had hookups with girls in college and I've had some experiments of my own. Overall I think we are doing well and for sure on a great path to an even better marriage and life together. That's a good start on the background, so now into the lead up to D-Day. Last summer she got involved in a local alumni club for one of her universities and was meeting new friends. Most things were going to watch football at a designated bar on Saturday for a few hours having a couple drinks while I did usual weekend kid things. One time her mom even went with her and I believe even met who would become the affair partner. She mentioned him to me several times early on and said he and his wife, not sure if they have kids, wanted to get together and go out as a couple. At the time I had no concerns and certainly not the overly jealous type. I like it when guys notice my wife and she definitely stands out in a crowd. She looks the same if not better than she did at 30 when I met her. She's fucking hot, wicked smart and best personality ever. Love her more than anything. Looking back on it I now believe this guy is a serial cheater and was grooming my wife from day one for an affair and now here we are. I'm no dummy and I'm not saying she's fully responsible, but I do believe it's possible for a person to get into someone's head and fantasy can begin. I was abused as a teenager and know a lot about how subtle grooming can be. This guy set it up and arranged her to now become the president of the club, which would basically mean a couple of Saturdays a month or other days, nights at these social events throughout the year. Not often, but at least one a month or so. Again, I was happy and excited for her. In years past she never got to go do things like this, mainly because she felt like she needed to be supermom. Now she plays tennis a few times a week, does some yoga, has work social hours, and now this club. I'm all for it. For the first 7 years she did most things for the family because of my work, and on our new approach I'm doing most of all that. I take the kids to school, pick up most days, do the majority of the housework, cook 6 meals a week for all of us. All of that, and very happy doing it. She does her share, don't get me wrong, but the roles have shifted, giving her some freedom to enjoy life and not be so stretched thin. So back when all this began, let's say September, I picked up on a few things. I saw some text messages from him to her asking to get together for dinner, drinks to thank her for getting involved in the club. I saw texts from her to her best friend in the old state with screenshots of messages he sent her, and her comment to her was, his texts made me freeze. The point being that she was picking up on this guy's vibe. So now I'm a little concerned, but I know my wife. She lost her virginity at 19, and while she is very sexual, I never thought she'd cheat on me. Especially after my huge mistakes and all the talk for her about honesty, loyalty, trust, security, commitment, etc. The only thing I was upset about, and now thinking back should have been concerned about, was she didn't tell me any of this. There was no, hey babe, remember that guy I told you about from the club? I get the feeling he's trying to get me naked. What the fuck, right? How should I tell him to get lost? Maybe he's just friendly. He keeps inviting us over for dinner and hanging out with his wife. There was none of that. In fact, when she first mentioned to me about becoming president of the club, I simply said wow, that's great. You sure you want to get that involved? She was a little upset and said something like, I'm not asking your permission, I'm telling you what I might do. I blew that off, not realizing what was already underway. At this time I don't think there was really anything going on besides occasional "how was your week, are you coming to the game Saturday?" type of text messages. When I finally started paying attention was at the end of January, when I saw some messages asking her to send a profile pic for the club's website and if she had Snapchat. She replied, Snapchat is for kids and she does use it with our kids. His response was, I don't really know how to use it, maybe you could show me. I'll just lay there and be gentle. Her response was something like, okay lol. WTF, from that minute forward I was on it like white on rice. I still thought it was all this guy and she was just being a naive dummy. I also thought maybe she likes some of the attention and is getting a thrill out of it. I'm okay with that a little, but I would like to be informed so I'm not in the dark. Remember, she had some surprising answers on the Moj Upgrade quiz, but nothing about swinging or like that. I could see a fantasy of me and her being together with others, or I don't know. But you know what I mean. I'm open-minded, not threatened, and want her to be happy and explore life, but with me involved. There are more to come. Find out the update of this story, check our channel or the description. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.